This is the Global Economic Commodities Scrap Metal and Recycling Report by our BENLEE roll-off trailer and luggage truck, July 13th, 2020. COVID-19 update. Forecasted U.S. deaths were raised dramatically to a horrific 208,255 through November 1st, with a mind-numbing 135,174 Americans dead in just the last 18 weeks. Bad news is, hospitalizations are now at record levels in multiple states, and the number of people testing positive, which is about 1% in New York, is a record 33.5% in Miami-Dade County. Worse is, the U.S. daily death count is up dramatically after months of decline. As for good news, there was zero COVID deaths in New York City on Saturday from a high of 799 a couple of months ago. U.S. weekly steel production rose to 1.268 million tons. U.S. manufacturing is opening slowly. Oil price rose to $40.55 a barrel, a multi-month high on a slow demand increase and as massive production cuts remain in place. The U.S. oil rig count fell to 181, a 10-plus year low, down a staggering 88.8% from the high, as low prices and the U.S. OPEC commitment to cut production remains in place. U.S. oil production was steady at 11 million barrels a day, as the same low prices and U.S. OPEC commitment to cut production remain in place. Iron ore rose to $107 a ton, near a one-year high, as Chinese steel mills are ramping up on a Chinese government commitment to infrastructure investment. Scrap steel number one heavy melt export buying price Philly fell to $200 gross ton on good supply and moderate export demand. Scrap steel number one heavy melt fell to $205.83 a gross ton, as the U.S. and global demand remains fair while supply remains good. Hot rolled coiled steel fell to $23.25 per hundred on small demand increases but more supply in the market and lower scrap prices. Copper rose to $2.91 a pound, over a one-year high, as Chinese demand is accelerating. This is a very positive global economic indicator. Aluminum rose to 75 cents, 0.21, a multi-month high on increasing global demand. July's cardboard scrap OCC Southeast fell to $70 per ton on good supply. Demand has been good, but supply has been better. JP Morgan's Global Economic Index rose to 47.7, but since below 50 is contraction, that means the global economy is contracting at a slower rate. This is a good sign as much of the world reopens. June's U.S. vehicle sales rose to 13 million annualized. There is no forecast that gets back to the 2017 rate of 18 million plus units. July's IBD TIPP U.S. Economic Optimism Index fell to 44, the lowest since September 2015, on the concern over surging COVID cases. And this is as the number of states began reversing the reopening and the American deaths per day is now accelerating. June's U.S. Composite Purchasing Manager Index rose to 47.9, well above May's 37, but is again below 50 as contraction. It is contracting less, so there is some optimism. The trend, though, remains down from the mid-2018 high brought by the 2017 tax cut. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 248 points to 26,075 as governments remain pumping up the economies around the world, but as COVID's resurgence is creating nervous investors. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions. We hope all have a safe and profitable week.